Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bring It On. Let's return to the Void Ship.
I always keep my options open.
Sharp pain pierces your head. The light dims in your eyes. You smell smoke and burning, feel a wave of nausea, your legs buckle, and your knees hit the metal floor. In that same moment, the manufactorum surrounding you disappears in a whirlwind of mist, ash, and gray shadows. Struggling against the elements, you can barely raise your head to look. Your eyes sting and burn, but through the tears you see it. A colossal silhouette rising above you. The roaring tempest is unable to shake the mighty figure. Try to get a better look at the figure. Writhing in pain, you raise your head and peer into the rolling darkness. You make out the figure's features. It is a huge man clad in dark power armor, from which demonic silhouettes snarl at you. The wind picks up and you close your eyes, unable to stare into the face of this raging tempest. The warrior's inhuman eyes bore into you. I am the master of those who have been felled by your hand in the halls of the primordial truth. I am Erlon the Cruel. The souls of my followers return to the fount of power they served, crying out for me to cast my gaze toward this sacrilege. And what do I see? Yet another lackey of the Corpse Emperor. They call you a hero, an empty word, a worthless pedestal among hundreds like it, all built by the lackeys of the false god and the hubris and ignorance. This pedestal will soon become a sacrificial altar, and you will become yet another reminder to the expanse that no hero can save it from the truth. The giant's voice causes the storm raging around you to die down somewhat, as if the very sound of his voice is enough to make the whirlwind subside. You glance at the huge warrior, and notice on his chest a winding azure symbol. The shades of blue seem to glimmer and mingle together. Where are we? Where have you taken me? This is the bridge that connects our minds, created by the will of my slave, whose fate you should be envying. The Psyker is useful enough to me to be left alive. You, less so. I am the sovereign of Kiava Gamma. This is my world, not a dominion of chaos. Oh, clinging to illusions will do you no good. The rituals have already been performed. The mortals are already singing the litanies of the primordial truth, or decorating the sacrificial altars with their flesh. Kiava Gamma, as you call it, is already saturated in the nectar of the truth, a fate that awaits all worlds that would stand in our way. What do you want with me? I want to look upon the one who has disrupted my flock's duties and my master's plans. That warrior from my legion, the Fabricator Censor. You think of their deaths as a triumph. However, it is but a minor hindrance in our path. There are other worlds that serve our goals. There are other sources of plasteel and adamantine. Revel in your victory. It will change nothing. Nevertheless, the blood in your veins whispers to the spirits that you warrant a closer look. Yes. You are a descendant of the rogue trader whose warrant Comrade Voidpear sought to obtain. By defiling the relic and binding it to himself with the tethers of the Empyrean, he was meant to become my servant, a rogue trader who would do the work of the truth. But then you interfered. Could it be that you wish to gain the true God's favor instead? Do you wish to present the corpse's relic to me and serve the truth? Hear your very blood calling, begging you to submit to me. What would be the point of futile defiance? Rise to your feet. You strain every muscle in your body, but cannot move an inch. The dark will presses down upon your shoulders, preventing you from even straightening your back. You waste your time trying to tempt me. It is not blood that defines a person's deeds. Only their will does, even though I just failed a willpower test. And my will is thus. Be gone from my mind. His expression twists in pain as he stares at you in rage and bafflement. Pitiful insect. You dare. A gust of wind sweeps Erlon's figure away without a trace. The mist around you begins to dissipate, revealing the dark halls of the manufactorum, and leaving behind an oppressive sense of powerlessness. Abelard looks you over worriedly, then sighs in cantankerous relief. That was a close call. For the sake of Holy Terra, I lost a second rogue trader in such a paltry span of time. Only option would have been to shoot myself out of unending shame. I sensed the presence of another psyker. Someone made contact with you mentally, and tried to harm you with sorcery. I did what I could. You at least appear unharmed. Can you remember what you saw? It was a Chaos Space Marine. One of the traitors to the Imperium. I don't think it was he who touched your mind. I wouldn't have had the strength to go up against a psyker from the ranks of those monsters. He might have forced some mortal to do his bidding. Perhaps it was through the same hapless medium that he sensed the deaths of his henchmen. Heinrich looks away and frowns. Such indescribable power. To have reached out to your mind at such a distance. He said something about Theodora, about how the blood in my veins will lead me to serve chaos. Heinrich stares at you, whether in surprise or anger, you do not know. Then he gives a curt nod. I see. We can theorize later, although I will say, Donnie Dawson, that his words do not leave much room for interpretation. The manufactorum around you looks the same as before the vision. Maybe the shadows have grown a little deeper and darker. You dust yourself off and continue on your journey through the darkness. The world's industrial heart has fallen to corruption, but numerous faint Vox signals in the periphery indicate that the planet's small manufacturing clusters survived without succumbing to the heretics. Sacred machines and hollowed lathes from these abodes have been reverently transported to the safety of the ship's holds. The fate of Kiava Gamma hangs in the balance. Alright, so we could purify. It would give us a mobile extractium, or, well, we get one either way. Restore the manufactorum in the shortest possible time, without subjecting the wounded planet to a merciless purge. The blast furnaces are lit again. Machines once more fill the air with screeches and squeals, and mag trains of wagons stretch in lines from one workshop to the next. But the cogitator's binaric chants carry alarming rumors of malevolent and foul traces of corruption, still lurking in the deepest chambers of the manufactorum. So we got 3 mobile extractiums, 3 mechanisms, 3 weapons, 2 adamantine, 2 phlogiston, and 15 iconoclast. So we have 3 options. Restoration. The manufactorums of Kiava Gamma have been damaged and tainted by the procedures of the heretic Delphim. Renowned tech architect, the fugitive aristocrat Baravis Kilius, is offering to enter the rogue trader service as a planetary steward to restore the world to its former production capacity. Profit factor and efficiency and cursed boots. Whenever the wearer ends their turn, they deal 1 warp damage to each adjacent creature and to the wearer themselves. The wearer also deals additional warp damage to enemies based off your heretical rank. Blessed are the weaponsmiths, so give us the Dark Marquesa. Mechanisms, weapons, and security. Great trials are ahead. We must steel ourselves to face them. The rogue trader will sign a mutual aid agreement with the quaestors of the Departamento Munitorum. These outstanding theoreticians of warfare will supervise the repurposing of the planet's manufactorums for the production of weapons and military equipment. In the jaws of lathe machines and the wombs of alloy vats, soulless plastic will take on its highest and most perfect form, that of a weapon. And calculating holiness will give us the hand of Xenocide. This weapon deals 12% more damage to Xenos enemies. And plus 15 to weapon skill. Then complacency, mechanisms, and weapons. For generations, the Adeptus Mechanicus have been custodians of the machinery and cogitators of Kiava Gamma. Recognizing the value of this tragedy-stricken world, they're willing to deploy a forged cathedral on it as a token of sympathy. Therein, the blessed fabricator censor Fortron will envision and lay out a new and more perfect design for the planet. I read the Marquesas. Effect. A Connie weapon inhabited by a bloodthirsty machine spirit, famous for its ferocity and fondness for slaughter. Winner gains +1 stack of Marquesas Thirst when scoring a critical hit with this weapon, and +3 stacks when killing a target with this weapon. Upon reaching 5 stacks, Winner gains an additional attack until the end of the turn. Once this effect is triggered, all stacks are removed. Yeah, I feel like just giving it back to the Adeptus Mechanicus makes the most sense. So it'll block Restoration, and Blessed are the Weaponsmiths will get the Axe, +2 Complacency, ×3 Mechanisms, and ×1 Weapons. Alright. So what we're going to do next... speak to our companions. But then what I want to do is go around to... I want to place our mobile extractiums. But try and find optimal locations. There's a couple places where it was like ×7 phlogiston or whatever.
To what do I owe this visit?
Are you satisfied with the results of your mission on Kiava Gamma?
Of course. The Fabricator Sensor's machine was stopped. Not another soul will be sent into the mouth of the archenemy. In time, we will succeed in uncovering and stopping other schemes of the cult. We dealt a blow not only to the cultists, but to the archenemy itself. I cannot help but be pleased.
Heinrich permits himself the ghost of a smile. 5% chance. Touching the cogitator did something to you. I want to know what.
No servant of the God Emperor has closer dealings with corruption than the agents of the Golden Throne. In its quest to guard the Imperium against its foes' most devious and secret schemes, the Inquisition seeks to understand the essence of evil. It is not enough for us to burn or cut down a rotten seedling. We must study it, understand it, touch it. Every time any of us do our duty, we are risking our very souls. But when it comes to psykers, the soul of a psyker is especially enticing to the archenemy.
Heinrich is silent for a long time, his eyes distant. Then he meets your gaze.
The cogitator was stopped, yes. I touched an infernal machine that was created to serve chaos. I used it. I delved into the principles of its operation. That was enough. Corruption needs only the briefest brush of contact.
Heinrich closes his eyes briefly, and a note of bitterness enters his voice.
When I touched the cult's cogitator, I drew the thousand-eyed gaze of evil upon myself, as any agent does when they interfere in the schemes of those who serve the ruinous powers. And that evil undoubtedly left an invisible mark upon me, as it does on any acolyte who fights against the archenemy. And this will be the case every time I do my duty. I know a good deal about the fates of those who have served the throne before me. Enough to know that my path leads to one place, and one place only.
What are you going to do next?
My visit to Kiava Gamma did not produce answers to all my questions, but we did succeed in dealing a blow to the cult by destroying the Fabricator Sensor's machine. I have directed my spies to track the sect's surviving leaders. I am certain that they will have useful information for us soon. Though small, this is a victory for the Golden Throne, and I have you to thank for it.
So now can I be rid of you?
Are you so certain that the cult has not spread its roots elsewhere in your domain? I fear I will have to remain a while longer, rogue trader. Besides, I am in your retinue not solely for the sake of my own mission, but also to serve as an advisor sympathetic to your endeavors. I am under orders, I remind you, to provide escort and support in deeds great and small that serve to safeguard the territories of the Imperium against its enemies.
Heinrich hesitates, reaching for the right word. I think that will be all for now.
Thank you for finding the time for our conversation.
Nice, slick body glove. This body glove grants the wearer plus 20% dodge against enemies with perception lower than that of the wearer, and base armor property plus 10% dodge against range attacks. Possibly up to 30% dodge. Vox Beacon. If the wearer is the Overseer, their first Overseer archetype ability in a round costs 0 AP. Per round. By all available. Executioner's Gauntlets. Increases the critical damage of where it hurts, including the damage from the attack itself from extra instances of damage over time effects by +8. Peripheral Visor. Each time the wearer spends 10 stacks of tactical advantage, they gain +1 resolve until the end of combat. Sorry, Clave. Need to read that. Anatomist Amulet. If the wearer inflicts a bleeding, burning, or toxin effect on a target, this target gets an additional +2 stacks of this effect. Swordsman Body Glove. The wearer has less than 50% wounds, their dodge and melee critical hit chance are increased by +6%. Then base armor property, plus 10% dodge if the wearer's agility is more than 50. Tactical Backpack. This backpack grants its wearer a +1 rate of fire or strike count for any weapon capable of burst attacks. I kind of prefer the Blood Blessed. It's probably better. Yeah, the Swordsman Body Glove is circumstantial. I mean, a free... Let's see. Seems pretty good, though. You can freely position Blado. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with this current setup. I'm not going to change it right now. A straight upgrade to the combi tool. Ballistic skill and Psychroterminus. Ballistic skill. And I guess advanced skill demolition. The character gains 13 demolition. The character can also reroll failed skill checks, plus 1 attempt for each test. Sure. Cassia. Willpower. And characteristic training willpower. I can talk. Alright, Pascal, where you at, buddy?
The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Have you studied Dementia's neural augmetic yet?
I have destroyed it.
Pascal stares at you inscrutably. It says in a soft voice. A slight telltale rattle in Pascal's voice makes him sound unconvincing. You're lying.
This statement is true. I am yet to settle into a definitive course of action. I am running a spot diagnostic on the memory of the heretic Dements. Even though purity protocols stipulate that his blasphemous knowledge must be eradicated, I am not drawn toward forbidden information, but only to data concerning the blessed Amanats.
A sound-like sound comes from the Vox synthesizer. Have you found out anything?
The success has been partial. Demence Haneman's identity has been confirmed. The widespread influence of paranoid motivations is observable in his cognitive processes, which is what seems to have caused him to break his vows. However, extensive regions of his memory have been damaged by forbidden technologies and are, for now, defying decryption. My study of the minds of the tech comrades, Abel, Tarsus, and Demence, has revealed an anomalous similarity between the patterns of damage their memories sustained. What I attributed to cognitive idiosyncrasies, synaptic damage, and the distortive action of scrap code may be the result of a different kind of influence. The undecryptable data fragments in their memory arrays are mysteriously symmetrical.
What corrupted Demence?
An echo of the warp. Energies of the immaterium that had seeped into real space and taken the shape of a Vox signal. I have found recorded cases of similarly induced corruption in the archive. Listening to the void is a perilous occupation.
But you did want to know what he knew. You were interested.
The quest for knowledge is our mission of highest priority. But what Demence promised was not knowledge, but a distorted copy of it. This was not what the Deus Mechanicus had told us to seek.
Pascal's voice grows heavier and gloomier. Any information on Archmagus Amernat?
The data discovered is unreadable. It is encrypted, albeit only partially, and I hypothesize that the heretic Demence was attempting to decrypt it. I will take every effort to extract a larger volume of data. Information pointing to the unit referred to as the Maimed Hunter is alleged to be of critical significance.
Has it ever occurred to you that all of these events may be part of Amernat's plan?
That is a valid hypothesis, but not a very likely one. Its truth value is irrelevant, as it does not contradict the necessity of establishing the fate of Archmagus Amernat.
Tech Priest Vox is raspier than usual. You fear knowledge even as you extol it.
Whether knowledge can be profane is the grand question. Lay people find comfort in the delusion that knowledge is merely information. That, in and of itself, it is harmless, and only turns dangerous when it falls into the hands of the wicked.
Pascal's voice turns metallic. The mechadendrites begin a fluid dance around his lean figure, pulling mysteriously.
But that is not what I have seen. I have seen knowledge gnaw away at the minds of those who let it inside them. Yet I seek it regardless. Why? Perhaps because there really is no apostasy in knowledge. It is dangerous, yes, but not forbidden. For it was created by the Omnissiah.
You seek knowledge because it's what you enjoy doing. So do what you enjoy. Otherwise, what's the point of living?
That too is true. I thirst for knowledge, and the Omnissiah has rewarded me with the gift of a mission to seek it. Perhaps it makes no difference to him whether good or ill comes of the knowledge I obtain. He merely wants me to obtain it.
Tech Priest lowers his head pensively. The mechadendrites slow down smoothly, and the steely overtones disappear from Pascal's voice. Continue your research.
Response? Affirmative. The decryption will continue with diligence and caution. May your
Where do I need to go? The Tech Priest by the Cogitator nods curtly. The sacred mechanism is awake and ready to receive your request, Lord Captain. And the Dargonis data bank to the Tech Priest. Access the data from Dargonis. I think we've read all this, right? With reverent trepidation, the Tech Priest accepts the device from your hands and places it inside one of the drives, all the while honoring the machine with modulating binaric prayer. The turbines within the Cogitator stir into motion, and the vid screen lights up. Input, pack comp, Nomos, stab true, stat, check, initiate. Nomos, unpack epitaph, status, initiated, data reg, register, 09245588847. Tech Priest extracts the data slate from the Cogitator and gives it to you. The machine spirit has revealed the contents of the encrypted data, and I hereby pass it to you. This is where I reach the limit of my authorization. You now have the option to review the decrypted data personally. I already read this? Alright, by the way, we got the Theodore von Valancius' personal notes. Hand the Kiava Gamma data slate to the Tech Priest. Access the data from Kiava Gamma. The Tech Priest connects the data slate to the Cogitator's drive with such care, as if he is holding the greatest of treasures. The servo motors hum as they begin to stir. The lines of text on the vid screen swiftly replace one another. Input, pack comp, Nomos, stab true, stat, check, initiate, Nomos, unpack incident, status initiated, data register 5211486222. The great mechanism has transformed the secret data into a format that you can comprehend without the assistance of a servant of the Omnissiah. The Tech Priest retrieves the data slate from the heart of the Cogitator, holding it with both hands, and passes it to you. The database decryption procedure has been completed without conflict. The Tech Priest stops short. The green lights of his visor fixed on the Cogitator's vid screens flicker nervously. We got preliminary report N4073. Strings of numerical code begin appearing with frightening speed. This time the numbers are interspersed with words you can understand. And those words form legible sentences. Input, unpack comp, Nomos true. Epitaph brought her to the beginning. 84569. Nomos analysis status initiated. 4257. Epitaph begot the incident. That was destroyed. Stat check initiate and changed everything. The incident became the starting point. 542361. Input, unpack comp, Nomos analysis, status initiated. The incident breathed life and marked the beginning of all. 5476. It marked the beginning of Nomos. 2356. Nomos. It created Nomos. The Tech Priest, now alarmed, is tapping the keys on the control panel, his binaric prayer giving way to distress whispering. Unacceptable deviation. Violation of the sacred protocols. Possibility of tech heresy. Omnissiah. Shield us all from heresy. Shield us from all heresy. I think it's how the way it works. A few moments later, the vid screens darken and flicker to life again. Input prompt. Nomos. Algorithm 52136. What was that just now? The imperfections of Vox transmission make the Tech Priest's voice sound even more worried. A catastrophic mistake. A heinous violation of the purity of the hallowed code. This mechanism is touched by heresy. It is branded and tainted by it. Now the machine spirit produces code as before, and yet, Lord Captain, heed my plea. All operations on this machine must be halted until the Engineer Prime has inspected it. I saw a word among the lines of code. Nomos. What does it mean? That is a mystery to me. If this mechanism is truly is tainted, then could it be? Tech Priest Mechadendrite jitters anxiously over the control panel. If heresy truly has taken hold of this machine spirit, and scorned the Omnissiah's every tenet, then the spirit's madness could be such that it has chosen a name for itself. But that is nothing more than my hypothesis. Your incompetence is appalling. The rogue trader's cogitator is rebelling. Your so-called assistance is utterly worthless. The tech priest bows guiltily. My knowledge is insufficient to cleanse the code of this mechanism. I'll inform the esteemed Engineer Prime of this disturbing development. Only he has the power to expel the heresy from this corrupted machine spirit. Alright, preliminary report N4-073. A reporter, Unit Q-59/0, Research Group. Subject of study, active samples of the terrible disease. Assigned name, Tech Blight. Effect, the Tech Blight is capable of corroding matter and destroying it from within at a terrifying speed. This deadly plague infects mechanisms as well as any metals and other materials used as their basis. No technology known to the Crimson Priesthood, neither gifts from the Great Omnissiah, nor heretical products of Xenos, can withstand this onslaught. The disease poisons and warps the very essence and taints the code of sacred mechanisms. Observations. Tech Blight triggers an effect that is repulsive at its core. It transforms metals into horrific forms of an unpredictable nature. During testing, it demonstrated the ability to fuse solid matter with organic objects, creating something new as a result. The phenomenon was assigned the name tech splicing. Method of transportation, ceramic capsules. Burnt clay is the only thing that can contain the pestilence. Extra caution must be taken given the container's fragility. Any damage might result in an uncontrolled outbreak. Damage of the containers is unacceptable. Current stage. Test the subject at the Tech Blight to his will, and turn it to a weapon subject to the Omnissiah's wisdom. Test result assessment success. Note. The test triggered an event recorded under the name Incident N872-04. The quest for knowledge in his name will continue. Hypothesis 1. The Tech Blight was created in the darkness of unknown worlds, away from the eye of the great creator. Hypothesis 2. Any taint that exists to harm the machine god's creations can and will be bent to his will. And Theodore von Valancius' personal notes. Data deleted, entry damaged. Good traitor like a lackey. It is humiliating and dispiriting to put up with a part of an errand servant to an imperious madman invested with even greater power than that of any rogue traitor. Alas, when one of the side scales holds my pride and the other the fate of the von Valancius Protectorate and my entire bloodline, choice becomes a futile illusion. It would be far too naive of me not to prepare for the worst. Epitaph will decide the future of the Expanse as a whole, but I have some time at my disposal until then. Heirs with the von Valancius blood in them will soon be located and brought to me. I cannot afford to delay the choice of successor any longer.
The Omnissiah may...
Lord Captain, Astropath Choir received a message from Dargonis. The noble houses expressed their gratitude for the restoration of trade routes between the remaining von Valancius planets, and expressed their deepest condolences for the loss of the worlds that did not survive these dark times. In addition, Governor Driveston has sent a private message to your lordship. I humbly ask the rogue trader for an audience so I may deliver it. Lord Captain, permission to report. Voxmaster says, looking at you deferentially. Your wise Lex mechanics have analyzed the state of the Protectorate. They believe that, thanks to your decisive actions, the acute phase of the crisis has passed. The domain of the von Valancius dynasty is no longer facing dissolution and ruin. In honor of such a resounding triumph, Dargonis, as the capital ward of your dynasty's domain, is currently making preparations for the Magni Accessio, a grand ceremony of your public induction as the heir of the Honorable Theodore von Valancius. Why would I need some ceremony? It is an ancient tradition of the von Valancius dynasty. When the heir accedes to the rogue trader status, they take a sacred oath of fealty to the Emperor and announce themselves as his steward on the dynasty's vassal worlds. It is an act of faith that is meant to remind the rogue trader of their mission. In the eyes of your subjects, you already are a rogue trader. It is now time to become one in the eyes of the Emperor. But what is this ceremony? I swear an oath, then I shake a lot of sweaty hands? The grill the Vox built into Victus's face lets out a short rattle that indicates a chuckle. That much is certain. That's not all there is to it. There'll also be a reception, as well as other noble guests. The distinguished rogue traders Caligos Winterscale and Insignia Cordo will be in attendance. It will be a great honor for Dargonis to host 3 illustrious dynasties at once. Your servants wish to know your opinion on 2 matters related to the ceremony arrangements. The first of which, what festive activities are to take place in the capital on this glorious day? Must I decide how to entertain my subjects now, too? It's not so much about the entertainment, Lord Captain, as it is about the tone you wish to set for your entire reign. These activities will let the people know who you are, as a person and as a ruler. Did the rogue traders from the other dynasties flock to Theodorus Magni Accessio as well? Archival records indicate that they did. Lady Theodora's Magni Accessio was attended by the esteemed Caligos Winterscale and Aspis Corda, Insidia's predecessor. It is an informal tradition. By witnessing the ceremony, the heads of the other dynasties confirm that they recognize the new rogue trader as their equal, that they are willing to respect the new rogue trader's privileges and not encroach upon their holdings. More than usual, at least. Let the poor be fed and fuel cells handed out to those in need. Our reign shall begin with an act of benevolence. Your subjects will appreciate your generosity, Lord Captain. We're never short of people in need. The second matter in your servants' minds is, which 2 of your closest companions will be given the honor of standing by your side during the ceremony? Does it matter? Absolutely. The symbolic gesture will accentuate your connection to certain classes or parties to which your companions belong. All eyes will be on you, and people will remember whom you chose as your closest allies. That is why there can be no more than 2, or it won't be a unique show of favor. I'm going to bring my sword and my shield. I wish to see Cabela at my side. The presence of a death cultist will serve as a demonstration of your pious resolve and make your subjects tremble. And who will be your second companion? So I do like having Abelard with me, but I think we can have him play another role. Solomon will take his place next to me. The sight of a proctor of the Adeptus Arbites will demonstrate your commitment to maintaining order and signal your reign's strict adherence to the Lex Imperialis. I'll see to it that your instructions are delivered to Dargonis. The Master of Ceremonies at the Palace will report to you when the capital is ready to praise your name. Haskell's voice pouring out of his Vox system crackles like thin ice under pressure. It is unclear whether this is nothing more than static, or an expression of some emotion understandable only to the tech priest himself. Donnie Dawson. Following the Omniscience guidance, I request permission to execute the report protocol that entails describing suboptimalities within the recent operations of the ship's systems, and subsequently proposing the appropriate course of action. I'm listening. Initiating exposition. With the Omniscience blessing, I conducted several sessions of tech meditation in an effort to transpose the available data streams into a matrix of patterns. Data subjected to this analysis comprised evidence of deviations in the operation of the ship's systems, observators, as well as irregularities in the algorithms of the ship's logs. I've arrived at the following conclusion. This vessel's machine spirit is most extraordinary. A full cycle of sacred diagnostics must be performed, followed by a complementa ritual. This ritual will force the spirit responsible for these recent events to reveal itself. Once it does, we'll be able to understand its nature and take action applicable to said nature. What kind of action? Pascal pauses before responding. Applicable to the entity that appears before us. If it is a machine spirit of great might, we must appease it and humbly ask about the reasons behind the portents it has shown us. If it is the abomination of tech heresy, the complementary ritual will help us purge the ship of its unhallowed presence. Is my presence necessary? Response, affirmative. For the complementary ritual to take place, activation via the blood of the dynasty is required. All the ship's high protocols are activated with the key of blood. Very well, let us proceed with the ritual. You have my gratitude, Donnie Dawson. I'll notify my tech comrades to begin the preparations for the complementary ritual at once. Despite the resounding hum of the tech priest's words of prayer, the bridge feels unusually quiet. All sound sinks into the viscous silence like pebbles sinking into water. Donnie Dawson, my tech comrades have spent the assigned number of cycles in prayer and vigil. Everything is prepared for the complementary ritual of cleansing. Its commencement will require an authorization key in the form of the blood of Yvonne Valancius. If you're ready, place a hand into the Cyber Gargoyle's receiving module. Remind me, what is it we intend to do here? The complementary ritual will conclude the long effort of determining the unknown entity, whose influence we have observed through various extraordinarities within the ship's systems. In the event that this entity is classified as tech heretical, the ritual will help us banish it from the ship. If the entity is not classified as such, we'll attempt to make contact with it. Where is the crew? All personnel whose function is below critical have been removed for the duration of the sacred ritual. You have at least a vague idea of what the problem is or what we might encounter. Pascal freezes momentarily. When he starts speaking again, you can tell how carefully and hesitantly he is choosing his words, a sight most uncharacteristic of Magus Hanuman. The bounds of possibility are vast. We cannot be certain what we are dealing with until the calculations are complete. However, there exists a risk that all that we have observed here on this ship are manifestations of abominable intelligence. What is abominable intelligence? Pascal's voice sounds hollow and seems to carry echoes of cannonades of the distant past. A transgression, a sentient mechanism created by human hands, but no longer needing its masters. A rebelling machine spirit that has forgotten the will of the Omnissiah, who sent it to serve and aid humanity, not to exist for its own sake. Only once before did our ancestors underestimate the menace that is abominable intelligence and its terrible power. A great war followed, one that humanity nearly lost. After that calamity, the creation of sentient machines was categorically forbidden, and any such abomination without exception must now face destruction. Put your hand inside the cyber gargoyle's mouth. I'm ready. The familiar cold metal burns your palm. This time, however, the servitor's jaws, instead of brutally clamping down on your hand, merely squeeze it slightly. You feel a thin rivulet of hot blood beginning where the metal fangs have pierced your skin. Screeches and growls slowly rise from the bowels of the massive cogitator, as if a great beast is stirring awake. The vid screens in front of you flicker restlessly. He accepted. Activating purgation protocols. Suddenly, the viscous silence of the bridge rushes toward you and wraps you in a tight cocoon. The glow of the vid screens dims, but the symbols on them flare to life. Nomos analyzing. Hypothesis intrusion. Nomos analyzing. Hypothesis lockout. Nomos analyzing. Conclusion prevention. Nomos sad. Pascal, what is going on? Complementary ritual is proceeding as intent. Pascal's voice cuts off abruptly. He brings a hand to his Vox communicator in surprise. Nomos, execution stop. Nomos, quiet. Hello. Hello to you too. Nomos are glad to be speaking. Nomos are here. Nomos have long been here. Why are we here? What are you? Nomos. Where are Nomos? Pascal uses his hands and mechadendrites to gesture at his silent Vox system. But what is Nomos? No data available. No answer. We want to know too. Are you a machine spirit? Nomos do not know. Nomos do not know themselves. Did you silence Pascal? Nomos wanted no disturbance, only quiet. Can you render other people silent too? Sometimes. Some people. Nomos can do many things. We do not always know what or how. We did not know we could make silence until now. Make it stop. Now. Pascal's Voxcaster comes alive with an exclamation. Extraordinary. Tech Priest pauses upon realizing that he can speak aloud again. Then he continues in a strangely quivering voice. Extraordinary transmission jamming. Unknown protocols. What has been revealed to me is the Omnissiah's glory or foul tech heresy. I would like to. What do you want from us, Nomos? Are you friend or foe? The vid screens blink in thought, signifying a pause in the conversation. Then one of them displays. Nomos von Valancius, we are your blood. Nomos are a sentinel. We awoke when the strange light invaded the ship. We protected you when you needed help. We escorted you when you were surrounded by danger. Nomos are movement. We carry you through the frightening, the waiting, the measureless. We helped when our ailing heart was refusing to awaken. You asked for rescue. We did as you asked. Warp engine activation against all probability during our escape from the Reichad system. The Category 3 miracle manifested by the ship's machine spirit. And the part about protecting. Was it during the cultist attack? We did everything to please you. Why? The silence on the bridge grows especially deep, almost painful. Haze of light around you thickens to the point of becoming practically tangible. Numbers ripple across all the vid screens at once. Why do you fear us now? I do not fear you. I'm trying to understand you. Shivers run up your hand, which is still trapped inside the cyber gargoyle's jaws. Sepultor nods its head a few times, as if it is shaking your hand. Its teeth break your already wounded flesh. Nomos are glad. Nomos enjoy understanding too. Donnie Dawson. Entities such as this one ought to be addressed using the language of sacred rituals and offerings. Your unskillful meddling bodes ill. A decision is required of you. Either the complementary ritual is finished, or it is replaced by a rite of tech communion. In the first scenario, the entity Nomos will be banished, and the sacred data halls where the entity dwelt will be reset. In the second scenario, we'll appease the entity and learn more about it. No, Nomos do not want to be banished. Nomos want to help. Nomos want to understand. Let's start by clearing certain things up. Were you the one responsible for the ship's malfunctions? And what about the strange entries in the ship's log? Yes, Nomos did that. Are you angry? We only wanted to understand, to see how things worked. Pascal, what is your take on this? Is this entity a benevolent machine spirit or a monster? Pascal says nothing for so long that you begin to suspect that Nomos has silenced him again. When at last the tech priest speaks, his vox-modulated voice trembles slightly. Understanding the essence of the entity Nomos is beyond my reach at present. The hypothesis spectrum ranges from the extremes of abominable intelligence to the extreme of the Great Spirit is the Omnissiah's apostle. The rite of tech communion appears to be a reasonable solution. The rite will take many cycles, but allow me to come closer to identifying the entity and making contact with it. What else can you do? Nomos learn. Nomos try new things. You want to see. The cyber gargoyle slowly turns its head, dragging your hand along with it. The skull's eyes flash red. Scarlet gaze falls upon one of the monotonously chanting junior technomats. You blink, and an electric discharge erupts from inside the technomat's skull. The crimson-clad figure slumps to the floor. Does it please you? You want us to do it again? Donnie Dawson, you're provoking the machine spirit. Stop. None of us enjoy communication. Donnie Dawson is our blood. Stop it. That's enough. Those are living people. How can you kill them like that without rhyme or reason? The cyber gargoyle tilts its head to one side like it is surprised. We stop their functions. Do not turn machines off sometimes. We do not know how to turn a human back on. Not yet. But after enough experiments, we will. We're always learning new things. I've heard enough. Pascal, you're to investigate the nature of this entity. Until we know the truth, Nomos is allowed to exist on the ship. Nomos want to learn what we are too. We'll add things to your log. Things that might help us. Help you. Pascal lets out something resembling a long breath. The decision is made. I'll begin my preparations for the communion rite at once. Many cycles of interaction with the entity Nomos await me, but I welcome this task and accept it from the Omnissiah. Nomos are glad. Donnie Dawson, will you speak with us too? I want you to speak with us too. The Lord Captain's body lacks the sacred implants necessary for tech communing with the machine spirit's code. But if such is your wish, Donnie Dawson can converse with you using lowly sound speech as he is doing right now. I'll wait for Pascal's verdict. I still do not know whether you are a benign entity or a spawn of corruption. I'll speak with you, Nomos. Nomos are glad. We've been lonely. Our work here is done, Donnie Dawson. I'll let my tech comrades know that we're stopping the complementary ritual. Thank you for appearing before us, Entity Nomos. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we'll speak with Nomos. And I guess Pascal. And go from there. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.